Welcome to More Than Just Study Abroad. I'm your host Halak, an international student currently studying in London. I bring forth to you this podcast to help you bridge the gap between the expectations you might have and the reality of what life as an international student really is like. Each episode, I sit down with other students who are also studying abroad to bring their stories, the real life experiences, straight to you. We're here to talk about all those moments you don't really read in the brochures. Everything from navigating cultural differences to managing daily life abroad. So let's dive straight into the conversation. Hello, hello.
Hi, Halak. How are you?
I am amazing.
So am I.
Nice. Where are we sitting exactly?
We're sitting on the top of some random balcony in the Marshall Building at the London School of Economics because I could not find a quieter place. So here we are, enjoying the view.
And the birds that are going around.
Yep, in this gloomy old weather. Ugh.
Yeah. It started to come like winter, so now it's a bit gloomy now.
It's horrible. It just rains all day, every day.
Yeah, you don't see the sun. I have not seen the sun today though. I have not.
That's true. It was raining the entire day.
Yeah.
If I see just like 1 centimeter of light, I just rush towards it. But that's not happening these days. I think the sunlight only hits until 4 p.m. and then boom, it's gone.
True. Once you've lived in London, you start going towards the sun and you're so happy about the sun.
Exactly.
Like, oh, the sun is here. Let's go.
Yeah. And British summers are really, really amazing. Like, I didn't know that till my brother told me. He's like, no, you have to stay here for the summers and stuff. When he left, he went on a 3-month vacation. And then I noticed it for the first time that people are smiling and jolly and happy. And now you just see their sulky faces in the tube. And I'm like, what am I doing here? Yeah, very, very.
Anyways, to be fair, let's have a quick introduction of yourself. What are you doing over here? Course? Where are you exactly?
Cool. So my name's Radia. I came over to the London School of Economics in 2023 to do my master's in MISD. It's a long ass name. It's Management of Information Systems and Digital Innovation. And prior to that, I was working in Malaysia for 8 years. So spent my career in like tech and e-commerce in the Alibaba group in Southeast Asia and Lenovo and Google. And I was actually brought up in Pakistan, grew up there till the age of 8, and then I moved to Malaysia. So I stayed there for 23 years. And I've also implicitly given away my age over here. But age is just a number.
But nobody knows your age.
Absolutely. And you should be young at heart. That's what I feel.
True.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I've been in London since 2023, and now I am just on the job hunt and trying to navigate.
Okay, so you said you first moved to Malaysia and then you came to London, right? So this is not your first time being in a place that is completely new for you in a different country or like as an international person, right?
Yep.
So was it easier for you? Have you seen like your friends who are like international students? Have you seen them struggling more and you thought, oh, I kind of have it easy maybe? Or do you think it's the same struggle for everyone, no matter how many times you've changed the country, I guess?
I would say it really differs. So I would say the batch of students that I was in, at least in my MSc course, there were a lot of people from Asia. There were also a lot of Europeans as well. A large bunch of them, we're talking just about the job and career aspect over here, right? So a lot of them actually went back to their respective countries like Germany, Ireland, Slovenia, etc., because they felt that, hey, the quality of life and job prospects are going to be much better there. And it is essentially kind of like, it's tougher and a very expensive place, London is. So that aside, I think there's another batch of internationals who are still struggling in terms of the job hunt. And then just generally, I think if you put the job aspect aside, it does get quite lonely sometimes. So there is that struggle. Also, there's a struggle of like finding like a nice community. I have found one now, which is really good. And, you know, a group of people that essentially support you. But I feel like there's different struggles. Maybe I would say it's kind of more nationality or region specific. I don't know. It really depends.
Yeah, makes sense actually.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about your course, what kind of environment was it? Were you the only one who was older, or did you find people? Because I've heard a lot of people choose to do masters after they've worked in the industry, and then they decide to say, "Oh, let's just go study sometime." So, how was the classroom dynamics like for you?
So the social classroom demographics they weren't actually that diverse, to be honest. So I was one of the very few, like maybe 8 people who had the most senior work experience wise, and then all the others were literally like maybe they'd come straight from their bachelor's degree, or they had maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 years of experience. So yeah, so quite junior in a way. And I think it was just such a relevant course in terms of like it talks about like digital transformation and emerging technologies. And that is just something that everybody wanted to kind of, harp on and take advantage of. Yeah.
So you did see a lot of young students coming in as well. I see.
Yep.
That gives me the question. What was your reason to get back into education? Was it because you wanted to upskill, maybe learn something completely different because you're, let's say, changing industries or something like that?
So for me, it was a mix of a couple of reasons. I felt at Lenovo, where I was handling the Malaysia and Singapore markets as their sales manager. So very quota driven, very territory specific. I felt there was a lot of stagnation and like politics over there. And I felt like I couldn't really go up the career ladder. So that was one thing. Second of all, I think from a job perspective, Malaysia does not have a lot of dynamic options in the space that I wanted to grow in, which was like commercial partnerships and partner management roles, sales, business development. So that was the other thing. And third was just because it was a very upcoming and relevant course, I think, to kind of latch onto these technologies and see how are they driving the value for businesses. That's a really great skill to have.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's what I wanted to do.
I see. So it's more like you wanted to explore more in terms of what kind of opportunities are available.
Yep.
And you thought, not Malaysia, there's a limit. And that's why you decided to go.
Yep. Here. And London's, it's a very dynamic market. A lot to offer opportunities wise and exposure wise. Great international environment.
True. I would say that. Agree on that. And when it comes to actually, now that I think back at it, you said a lot of young students, there were a lot of them. So what were like, if you remember, I don't expect you, but if you remember.
Are you calling me old, Halak?
No, because this is going back 2022, 3 years back. It's still quite old.
Okay.
So.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
Yeah, exactly. So do you remember when it came to the application to apply to LSE over here? Do you remember what they were asking for as a requirement for you to get on this course? Because it doesn't seem like experience was asked, maybe? Or was it relevant?
Okay, this is a tough one. I'm trying to jog my memory. So they didn't have any specific requirements like for the GMAT or anything like that. But I would say like maybe 1 years of experience, more than that. Like kind of that was like one of the minimum requirements. Other thing was like what makes you so interested in, of course, connecting technology as a solution for all these businesses and, really kind of seeing, okay, how am I going to drive that efforts? Why am I interested in this? So that was something they really wanted to see, your curiosity about learning more about technology and the trends, that sort of thing.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So there was still experience required.
Not specific experience like in digital technologies per se, but like literally like any work experience. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we had a lot of people in our course like from very far-flung industries such as like construction even, or like telcos. Yeah. So it was pretty dynamic.
Were there any students who came directly after undergraduate or someone?
Yeah, a very small subset of them. Actually, no, it wasn't a small subset. There were quite a lot who went directly after this. So kind of like a 4-year degree in a way, if you see it that way.
Okay, so maybe they had a placement year and they were they would have worked somewhere. Makes sense, yeah. Okay. Now when you think about your classes, did you have a lot of lectures going in throughout the week, or did you have more hands-on tutorials, maybe seminars?
So we had like 3 main semesters, right? The first semester that we have in the course, and it's still like this, was very theoretical. So it was a lot of theory, like covering the foundations, how digital technologies really work, how are you kind of seeing like different theoretical perspectives and all that. And then in the second semester, it became more practical. So you're doing a lot more collaborative projects on like innovation related or like sprint projects with product management and consulting projects with actual live clients from all over the world. Apart from that, I think it was very lecture heavy in the first semester. Third semester was just a dissertation, but in the middle, we had a lot of tutorials every week.
I
So
see.
every week for these classes, like around like maybe 3 or 4 tutorials, depending on the electives that you would do.
Okay. In the lectures, yes, you're giving out the content and it's very theoretically focused. How was the tutorials like?
So in the tutorial before, they would give us like a list of readings to do or like case studies, and then and you would like of course have like a group discussion or individual. You would do it individually beforehand, write the answers, and then once you come into the tutorial or seminar that we call it, we would be going all out in a full discussion. So it's very collaborative because the lecturer also gets involved and you discuss like different points of views.
I see. And when you say the lecturers are involved as well in tutorials, how has it been throughout like the year? How does the communication work? Like, are they very interactive? Are they coming to you and asking you if you have any doubts, if you still uncertain about any topics, concepts, or is it more like, yes, we've given you the content and everything, and now you're expected to finish it off? And if you have, of course, questions, you can come up, but it's not as if they're initiating the interactions.
So there's a lot of self-study that's required, of course, and I think they make it very clear to you from the beginning that there's a lot of readings that you have to go through. Of course, it's up to you to sift through the readings and skim through which are essential, which are not, to get as much information as possible, but you also want to make sure that it's quality and relevant information as well.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But apart from that, they're very supportive in terms of you can come up to them for like office hour, visit them in their office hours, or like even afterwards. If there's a networking event and they're there, you can always catch up with them for drinks. So it's that it's a nice support system that's there.
I see.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of support. They are directly getting involved with you in the actual learning process throughout the process.
And we're also like allocated mentors at the beginning of the course. So those are your personal mentors. And if you need any help from them, you can go to them again, book any office hour with them. So discuss your personal state of mind or anything academic related.
I see. Is it like a personal mentor or is it more like maybe a group mentor for 5 students allotted?
No, so it's a personal mentor and they're all from the same Department of Management. I mean, like from the same MISD course itself. So,
okay.
Yep.
Is it common for all courses in LSE?
I would believe so, but I'm not too sure. I feel like it is. Yeah.
Okay. That seems interesting. I don't think we had like personal mentors. We didn't have personal mentors because we had a very small cohort of 14 people. Yep. So we had 2 professors. You can just tell them what you want.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, well, but I feel it's nice. Like everybody was there to kind of like support you in some way or the other. I think that's how it should be at like every university in a way.
True.
Mental health is important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on, what about LSE do you miss actually now that you're an alumni?
Ooh, a lot of things. I love coming to the library and actually the Marshall building because it's the most aesthetically pleasing building. I think you were just coming up from the stairs. I was bringing you. Go down the stairs.
I'm still looking at the lights.
Yeah, I'll show you more later. I feel like the buildings are one of them. I think the second thing is just there's so much. I sound very nerdy when I say this, but I feel like there's so much knowledge that you can always learn and pick up like at any point. And I just love the library. It's very homely. It's very cozy. A lot of perspectives that you can get about like literally anything, right? Like at your fingertips.
How often like students just sit together to actually collaborate and maybe just study? Or do you see less that of in the library, but maybe just individual study rooms more occupied?
I would say it's a mix because there's a lot of self-study that's required, but there's a lot of group projects. And I feel this is one of the strengths that LSE has because they force you to work with people you've never worked with before or maybe not even liked. But that's not the point. The point is to get as much of exposure as possible to different views. So there's a lot of group projects. I think maybe other courses, perhaps like maybe entrepreneurship, they would have more of that collaborative factor.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, depends.
Did you have any collaborations with other courses, like maybe lectures where you had different students from different courses also sitting in there?
Yes, we did. So this would happen in the second semester, I would say, when we had to choose our electives. And it would be usually from like other courses in the Department of Management. So maybe somebody who's doing like social entrepreneurship or economics. That's that sort of thing.
Okay. What else? Let's say you come back to LSE, you're like, okay, we have to go to this place at least once before I leave.
I would say just walking, taking a romantic walk with my invisible partner around the Marshall building. It's just super, super nice. I think the lighting, as you'll see, I'll take you to the other floors later.
It is, yeah.
It's very nice. And I think it's just the openness of the campus. I wouldn't say it's a extremely massive campus or anything because they're buildings which are actually spread out towards the other side, but it makes LSE what it is.
True. I actually was surprised at how the buildings are actually quite close by at walking distances.
Yep.
And is this the entire campus or is the campus somewhere else in London as well?
So yes, this is the entire campus, but there are a couple of buildings that are a little bit further out, like maybe like 5-10 minutes walk from here.
Okay.
Yeah, in close vicinity.
So it's like if you have to go from one building to the other for another lecture or another class, you can still make it.
Yes, in like 5 to 10 minutes. Same area.
Is that the same case for everyone, like, or is it just maybe your course or a few others?
It depends because everybody has like classes in like different buildings. So there's quite a fair amount of walking that you have to do.
Okay. Yeah. But everything is still consolidated in central London.
Yes.
That's pretty good. I thought we were the only ones who had a campus university.
Really? Where's yours?
We're in Milan. Milan has it's like a proper campus.
Yeah.
Where you can literally have like gates to enter the university and gates for exit.
Wow.
So it's like a consolidated place.
Oh, that's nice. I've always wanted to be like in one of those gated community kind of like unis. But then I feel like it's also something that I don't really like at the same time because it's very transactional. So the friendships that you get to make are a bit like, oh, you're in and out. I see them for a few hours and then they're gone. That sort of thing.
True. I guess it depends because yes, we have the campus accommodations also inside there, some of them. So some of the campus accommodation is already inside. So students live over there as well. So you can like just go on to the other room and meet your friends.
That's so convenient.
Yeah, so that was a very great thing. But I see, I'm assuming there's a lot of accommodations around over here as well.
There's accommodations around. So there's in Holborn, we have accommodation halls. And then there's Butler's Wharf. So not very far from here at all. Everything is like pretty much, I think maybe 1 or 2 tube stops away or walking distance as well.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. When it comes to food, where do you go?
So the campus is in Holborn and there's a lot of things that you can do. So we have Tesco and Sainsbury's if you want a very quick bite.
Always there. Yes.
Always there, always faithful. And then we have small eats, like there's pizza across the street and we have like small coffee shops like Sontag or Cafe Nero. And then there's Viet Eats, which is you get for £9.50, you get a really good banh mi. It's like one of the best banh mi's ever.
I see that's one of the places where you go to every time.
Oh yes. I miss that because you don't get that banh mi like anywhere.
Oh, I see. To be fair, there are a lot of places in Central just to eat around. You just walk and you find another place to eat.
And that's the beauty of it. Just walking randomly and you're like, oh, this is a gem. Why not?
True. What about other places for where you can work actually? Because you said there is the LSE library over here where you, of course, enjoy a lot. There's the Marshall building, this one, where you can again study and there's lectures happening. What other places would you say you would actually go around in London to study maybe?
To study, I would say like maybe find a really nice coffee shop. So for me, I like finding a place where it doesn't need to be aesthetically pleasing or anything like those bougie influencers that you see, but it must be a place where obviously the coffee is great. So of course there's Wi-Fi, and I would say so Sontag, the one that's right across the street from LSE, it doesn't have a great seating area, but near Holborn there's actually the Strand area, which is full of coffee shops. So I would say like usually there we can find something or the other.
I see. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, so because we're also near the King's campus, and so there's a lot of student activity, which is why they've made a lot of these small places for students to study.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yep.
What about in terms of security then? Because nobody can remember all the students that are actually going to be attending LSE. So how how is the security in terms of this is also a part of central London, so you have to be a bit vigilant about your personal belongings and everything.
Yep. So you're talking about the security in the campus itself?
On the campus, yeah.
In the campus. So I would say there is a lot of security around. So obviously we have our personal alumni or student ID tags to get into literally every building. And we can't just bring guests like that. We need to either register them, or if a staff member has invited an alumni, then they could bring, that person. But apart from that, it's pretty tight. Like they have a lot of verification checks, so they do need some sort of ID usually at the ground floors to check and let you in. And
I see.
They're quite vigilant.
Yep. Okay, so at least even if you're over here, you don't need to feel unsafe.
Yeah, you don't need to feel unsafe. Yeah, unless you go out on the street till you get your phone snatched by somebody, which is also something.
Yeah, that's another story.
That's London for you. Yep.
Yeah, true. Now that you've graduated and you're an alumni, when you think about all the courses you've done and all the experience you've gathered back in Malaysia and now studied over here in LSE, how do you see it benefits you now? Or would you say, maybe what I studied doesn't really help me at the best right now?
I would say it's a tricky question just because the job market is not the best at the moment in the UK in terms of the roles that I'm targeting, which are, yes, they are innovation related simply because I did this degree, but it's just a matter of right now, they want people who have that actual solution delivery experience or very hands-on innovation experience. Apart from that, I would say it helped me in the way, like, how we actually view technology. Like, we just view a very superficial thing, but I feel like there's a lot more to it. And I think just thinking about how to actually implement these technologies, thinking about the strategic parts of it, is something that I really, really enjoyed. So that's definitely something new that I learned.
Got it. Okay, yeah, so it has helped you quite a lot. Even if you can't see the results right now, you do see that there is value in it.
Yeah, and like every time I see like a new technology that's come out, like maybe just you can say crypto or like Bitcoin and stuff, I always try and think like, what are the impacts it's going to have, not only on society, but within that organization itself, just to kind of implement that, or just an automation workflow technology, that sort of thing. So you start thinking about technology in a different light.
And I know you're coming here for the networking event today, right?
Yes.
So how has the communication between the university and you been after you've graduated? Have still being actively in touch with you, like, hey, listen, how's the progress going on with maybe your job hunt, or maybe what have you been up to now?
So I would say, just to find out about these networking events that are happening, I would need to obviously sign in using my alumni address to this LSE Career Hub, where they have a list of like all these events that are going on, whether it's networking, whether it's employer chats, alumni events, etc. That's one thing. The other thing is that in terms of career advice, the careers team works with you for up to 5 years. They don't check in with you proactively. It's you who needs to like reach out to them, but they're always there. So in terms of that support system, that's great.
And how did they help you when you were still in university, actually?
So I would usually utilize them in terms of thinking about how do I go about a job strategy? How do I maybe optimize my resume better? So position myself better. That's first thing that I would do. And then second would be job search, or like maybe interview preparation as well. So these three key essentials, how to make yourself more ready for the job market out here in the UK. Maybe there's some cultural things that you need to understand better. So these tiny nuances.
Okay. Are there any other services actually you've utilized in university while you were over here?
Not really. I think careers would be pretty much the only one. But of course, like, alumni can use the library any time they want. You just need to sign in with your alumni card. And there's also something called LSE Generate. So that's our startup school that we have. It's like an incubator, and people from like outside or like LSE students can come and pitch. And you also learn about the basics of how to put together an MVP or a solution or build a business. So that's been superb.
Interesting. So they do provide support, not just in terms of people who are looking for getting into the job market, like corporate world, but also for people who want to start up their own business or do something on their own.
That service, of course, if you're an alumni or current student, you get automatic access.
I see. How has your friendships been over here? Are you still in touch with those people?
I am, with just like a certain set of them. I felt in my course it was a bit cliquey, kind of like the Mean Girls effect, except nobody was mean, but it was just like some people just stuck together, I feel. And if you're in an international uni, you should be making more of an effort. But I do have some very good friendships. I made like some small circles. So I have my people that I meet like 1-to-1 or just in small groups of 3-4.
I see. Okay. When you were in university, how was the friendships over there at that time? Were you able to, let's say, meet people from different courses and you were maybe part of societies and you met those people, and are you still in touch with them, or has it faded away now?
I think I wasn't involved in that many societies, but in the societies that I was involved with, I think that kind of faded out a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But I would say like I'm still in touch with a lot of people in my course. Not a lot of people, but like the close group of people that I had with.
Your close friends.
Yep. Other courses, I would say like, because we didn't get to meet that many unless if you have like a shared elective together and stuff. So it really depends who you kind of click with.
And do you think that 1 year is long enough to make those friendships last? Or would you say maybe if I had some more time to meet up and sit with them, I would have become friends with them, or maybe become closer friends with them?
I feel so. I think 1 year goes by really, really quickly, like no matter which uni you're in. London being such a fast-paced city and everybody's on the go, it's a city campus. So I think that does make it slightly more transactional. I feel if it had been like maybe a 2-year thing, there might have been deeper friendships. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like back in uni, I'm still friends with a lot of people from my course. Mm-hmm. So I think those were more solid friendships, the more time you spend together.
True. And when you think about being a master's student over here in LSE, was it a lot of work that was given? And maybe that's the reason why friendships couldn't get more time?
I don't think so much it was the workload. The workload is going to be heavy, like literally anywhere in LSE. It's just what people are really in the mood for. Some people are also very senior, so they have more like commitments, like such as they're married or they have kids or families. So they don't want to spend so much time getting to know you. You know, again, transactional. Other people have a little bit more free time on their hands. So it really depends. It's a mixed boat, I would say.
And how difficult was your workload? Did you have to commit like did you have a lot of projects coming up, quite a lot of deadlines together, or was it not much pressure until the last few months of your dissertation maybe?
There were a lot of courseworks. They really amped up because the first semester is very theoretical. So there's a lot of theory involved. You're not really getting a lot of time to collaborate with others. I think in the second semester, that's when you have the more collaborative, like modules that you have to choose, as well as some core modules. So that's when it really, really amps up a lot because you have to be like all out. You have to be utilizing library, tutorials, making the best of it. And then it kind of slows down a bit towards the dissertation.
I see. Okay. Yeah. And when you're doing your dissertation, are you on campus or do you not?
We don't have to be on campus, so we can just submit it anytime, and it's usually due every August. So ours was like an 8,000-word essay related to MISD, of course, and I raced through it. I was on fire.
Oh my God.
While I was on holiday in Spain and Portugal.
I see.
Yeah.
So did you just finish it up early because you wanted to go on holiday?
No. So I was really stuck for my dissertation topic and everybody had an idea of what they wanted to do. I was one of the latecomers. But then finally I found it. But I feel as if I raced through it in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I guess. And did you get a good result?
I did. It was good. Touch wood. So
3 weeks are worth it.
3 weeks of work.
Again, disclaimer, we're not saying you should spend only 3 weeks.
Absolutely. But if you do want to burn off some steam, go to Spain and Portugal, guys. It's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, yes, we are promoting Spain and Portugal.
Absolutely.
Yes. Actually, when it comes to the workload, now that I think about it, of course, a lot of people, when they look at LSE, it's the brand that gives them the idea, oh, we're in LSE, it's going to be so difficult, it's going to be so competitive. Did you feel the pressure when you were studying masters around you? You did say like you had a lot of younger students as well. Did you feel like, oh, this is difficult to catch on academically with them because they're still fresh in their minds? They came from undergrad. They're very well in the academic environment. They can do it better. And did you feel the pressure?
Of course, I had to deliver and like get really good grades. So, I don't want to fail, obviously. But I felt like I wasn't competitively competing with anyone. They're also in a different pace and frame of mind. Whatever is working for me, I'm going to work at my pace. But as long as I really understand the concepts and get those grades as well, that was my mindset. I think the competition was when I was applying for LSE because I knew to make my application stand out amongst like thousands, it has to be really good.
Yeah.
So that was
makes
when
sense.
it hit.
Okay. And when it comes to like, so you did not feel pressure, and neither, I'm guessing, the lecturers or the professors did not make it seem like, oh, you have to do it, you have to get the highest grades, or you have to be better than the person beside you. I'm guessing that was not either the case.
No, but of course the expectations are very high from the lecturer's side that so 70% and above is considered a distinction, and everybody wants the best, but there's certain things, of course, you have to really kind of get used to maybe writing things in a very academic style, which is kind of difficult if you've been working for so many years and been in that environment. You suddenly switch to student mode. So that took a bit of time to get used to.
That's one of those transitions you're facing.
A mindset shift as well.
Oh, but it's good to know that the environment did not feel like you're competing with the people beside you and your peers everywhere, and there's a lot of pressure. Instead, it's more like you're on your own pace, you learn what you learn, and don't compare yourself with the people beside you, I guess. Is this a busy hour over here?
Anytime is a busy hour at the Marshall building, but it tapers down after obviously 6 p.m. Yeah. I would say it really picks up towards the end of term, which would be like maybe December, because that's when courseworks are due.
Of course.
Yes, the rush.
Everybody needs to finish up work before deadlines.
Of course.
When you talk about masters is 1 year, and you said, yes, friendships needed time maybe, would you say you needed more time when it comes to academics maybe? Maybe your 2 years would have helped you better. Would you say no, 1 year is good enough for a master's degree?
I still don't know. I think time went by very quickly in this course. Yes, there was a lot to learn, but I've also felt that it could have been paced out better. And it was just something that was decided from the Department of Management, how they decided to pace it out first, because putting all the practical stuff in the second semester and then followed by a dissertation literally immediately after is very difficult in terms of time management. So I would say maybe 1.5 years. I think that could have been slightly better in terms of the pacing.
So you need more time just for like dissertation, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, so you don't finish it up in 3 weeks. Makes sense.
Yeah. That I don't advocate that, guys. Do not do your dissertation in
3 weeks means 3 weeks of all-nighters.
Oh, yes. I was on Red Bull and coffee for 50 hours. The last 3 days leading up to my dissertation. And I submitted it 2 minutes before the deadline. Yeah, I live on the edge.
Average university life.
Of course.
I guess it's not different in LSE either.
Nope, never. I have never been good at sticking on time.
What about when it comes to exploring London, actually? Did you feel like you had a lot of time to even just explore around? Yes, you're in central London, so that makes it easier a little bit to just walk around, be able to get to different places. But what about in general, like?
Generally, by nature, I love exploring things, whether it's restaurants or whether there's something to do. I think that's one of the charms that London has. There's always something for everybody, no matter what kind of budget you're on as well. So I felt in terms of that, there was a lot of time to explore, even during the course, nearby, or even if you're working, at home, doing projects at home, you can just get out, zip into the next town and find something to do.
True.
And it's so convenient by the tube as well.
Yes. But I will say, I don't think I've even after living 3 years in London, I would say I've explored everything.
Yeah.
There's still something or the other new happening every
Obviously.
single time.
And there's always something new coming up, which makes it more exciting as well.
Yeah.
Right?
I know a lot of societies also do like events where they go out together for like maybe food or for watching a movie, for games and everything. Did you have time to engage with societies or their events?
So to be honest, even though I had joined a few societies, like maybe around 3, I didn't really engage too much with them. It was just because of the nature of the course and simply because there was a lot of back-to-back deadlines. And, when you're having group projects together, it's very difficult to kind of manage that.
Was it the same for the others as well around you, or were they able to still go out to the societies more often?
To be honest, I'm not too sure like how many of the societies the others joined, but I think genuinely that balance needs to be there, which is tricky if you're a master's student. I feel as an undergrad, you have more time on your hands because you have 3 years, so it's spread out. But everything is condensed into 1 year over here for a master's.
I agree. Because we had 3 years, if we missed out on doing something in first year, we still got another year to do it. Or if we missed out in second year, we still got 1 more year to do it. And the pressure, I guess, for even job hunting and everything doesn't fall on you until you're in your final year.
Yeah, for sure.
So it still gives you those 2 years to taper down and just enjoy around, take it easy, and then maybe once it starts pacing up, it paces up.
And managing like job applications in the last few months, and then being hit by, employers telling you that, oh, you're still a student. Of course, that kind of hits. Then you're like, okay, maybe I need to stop applying and then wait for the course to end and then actually apply, because they want to employ you when you're actually done.
Yeah, makes sense. But that's the case for like graduate jobs, I'm assuming, because I know there's graduate schemes where you start applying way earlier, like a year before.
Yeah, so for me, it was more about like the experience jobs that I was applying for, because I already have like 8 years of experience. So to kind of go back to a graduate scheme is kind of like downgrading that experience, which recruiters would not recommend either.
So you had to wait until you're done.
Till I was done.
Yes. Actually be able to go ahead. Nice. That's a great conversation so far.
Yeah, maybe you should consider masters here.
In LSE. What?
Yes.
Because we are sitting in the Marshall building.
Why not? See, the vibes are hitting you.
Of course. I still like the staircase. I'm not sure.
I'll take an Insta photo of you later.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we can wrap this up over here. And for that, before we end this entirely, I know there's a lot of audience that I have living based on short form content, and they do not have the patience to go through a 40-minute podcast episode. So how about this? We say any 5 key takeaways from what you've talked about. Like if they were supposed to come to LSE, what are the 5 things they should know? Or being a master's student, application, anything you would want to just give away?
I would say, I don't know about 5, but like I would say definitely one of the biggest ones would be have an open mind. And when you come to LSE or to London even, just think that you're immersing yourselves with thousands of nationalities who are all going to bring a different mindset and perspective. And you're not going to be right. They're also not going to be right, but nobody's going to be wrong either. It's just about respecting everybody where they've come from, how they see things, and then seeing how it goes. So that's one thing. I think acceptance is very important. 2 would be careful of your phone in London. That is one major thing. That's one of the biggest pieces of advice.
Be careful, yes.
Yes, at all times. Guard it with your life and put an index finger at the top of your phone when you're holding it. That makes it more difficult for thieves to snatch it off. But I think I might have scared you guys. So we'll move on to the 3rd point. 3rd point would be take advantage of all these societies that you're in, and also events outside of LSE. So it could be like networking events. There's places like Eventbrite or Meetup that host these kind of events, or like for people in different niches of their industries that they're in. For example, if you're into crypto or something, you can go to these kind of meetups. Yes, it could be expensive, but for many of them, they're usually between like 15 to 20 pounds. And you can easily sign up and just get some new perspective or get a new exposure to something. And number 4 is enjoy the food as much as you can. I think London is a food capital, so you got to make the best of it.
Yeah, you've got cuisine from every country over here.
Absolutely. Every single country.
Yep. If there's not, you can bring it. Actually, when you think about coming from Malaysia and living in London now, how different do you find it actually? Or is it not that different compared to the life back over there?
I would say a complete contrast. I feel people are very transactional, and okay, not everybody is transactional over here in London, but there's a lot more warmth in Asia, and that's just because of the culture, right? So that's something. And I would say, in terms of being into just public transport itself, Malaysia's public transport is not that great. London's is phenomenal, even though the trains are late. So
It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. But I felt like there's also, it's not just a cultural shift, there's a lot more diversity. Malaysia is pretty diverse, but this place is even more diverse. So big shift. You know how
I see.
quickly things work. Yes.
Lovely to meet you, Radia.
Lovely to meet you, Halak.
Yes.
I will see you
nice.
at LSE one day.
Yeah, yes, yes. I will be sitting in the Marshall building. I will be sitting.
Amazing. I'm
No
glad to hear
worries.
that.
Nice to meet you, and thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. And let's
Thank
go
you.
get that coffee.